This video features the best brawlers you need to be playing in June 2025. With the new season and the new brawler, let's see how much the meta has shifted so far. Alright guys, the first brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Angelo. Now Angelo is still considered to be one of the strongest sharpshooters in the game. His ability to instantly deal 4,000 damage is enough to cause the enemies to immediately retreat, mostly because dealing that much damage in one shot is no joke. Also, with his ability to hover above water, makes him extremely versatile on any map that has even the slightest bit of water. He can use that aspect to escape danger from far-range brawlers and also to cause pressure against enemies that are short-range. Also, when Angelo's using his super and he stands in a poison cloud and deals that additional poison damage, I mean that is so disgusting as well. Just remember that the longer that you're aiming down the sight, the more poison damage you can deal over the next 3 seconds. If you are running the Empower Star Power, this is another reason why you need to be standing in that poison cloud. Having this star power and being able to heal while aiming down your arrow to deal more damage will be helpful to keep your health up and stay alive. Now I won't deny Angelo is not really the most popular brawler because he is more on the higher skill cap side of the spectrum. When the enemy walks in a zigzag pattern to dodge Angelo's shots, consistent damage is more important than dealing high damage, so I would recommend firing your shots that are charged at about 50%, and this will help keep your damage output consistent and preventing the enemies from healing up. Angelo's attacks do not have to be fully charged to deal significant damage. Even if you charge it up to a maximum of like 70%, this should be sufficient enough to threaten enemies in order to stay at a far distance. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Buster. Now something underrated about Buster is definitely his super. Buster's super montage gives him a strong defensive edge by projecting a front-facing shield that reduces and reflects incoming projectile damage. This makes him highly effective against longer range brawlers, allowing him to block shots, push forward safely, and disrupt enemy positioning. When used with good timing and aim, the super can turn fights in Buster's favor by punishing attackers and creating opportunities for his team. Now definitely one of my favorite parts about playing Buster is his slow-mo replay gadget. Slow-mo replay can serve multiple different purposes. You can disarm the enemy to cause them to drop the ball in Brawl Ball. You can protect your teammates by pulling in enemies that are trying to chase them down. You can even use your gadget to pull enemies towards you so that you can do more damage, since of course Buster does more damage the closer the enemies are to him. Now those of you guys that love the aggressive playstyle and love playing aggro brawlers, I mean Buster is definitely the brawler for you. Buster is ideal for aggressive playstyles due to his high close range damage, slowing gadget, and protective super, and this makes him effective at initiating fights and disrupting enemies. His abilities let him pressure opponents, lead pushes, and control key areas in fast-paced modes like Brawl Ball. This aggressive toolkit allows Buster to dominate the front line, snowball map control, and create opportunities for his team to secure objectives. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Hank. Now the only reason why Hank is at the top of the meta now is because of his hypercharge homing officials. When activated, Hank's torpedoes will now curve towards the nearest opponents. This allows Hank to gain more value from his super, and by gaining those stat buffs as well, it makes Hank even scarier to face on those closed off maps. Now whenever you're playing Hank, you really need to be remembering this critical tip. When approaching an enemy, always charge your bubble in the opposite direction of that enemy. When the bubble is at its maximum range, quickly rotate the attack joystick to aim towards the enemy and immediately release. This strategy catches the enemy off guard, as they will not be able to gauge a safe distance from you while your bubble is not facing them. Now with Hank being an S tier brawler in the current meta, I definitely recommend you guys run this build whenever you use him. The best loadout for all maps and modes is going to be the Bear Kid gadget, the It's Gonna Blow star power, and then using the damage and health gear. This is because Hank is one of the highest burst damages in the game, which can be greatly boosted with the damage gear and the It's Gonna Blow star power, helping you get in range. The health gear is great because Hank has terrible natural regeneration, and you want to spend as little time as possible to heal up so you can immediately go back to attacking again. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Chester. Now the whole reason why Chester is broken right now is because of his hypercharge crunchy, chewy, and gooey. When activated, Chester's Candy Popper, Salmiakki, and Pop Rock Super combine into one. Candy Popper no longer knocks enemies back, Salmiakki sprays powder in a circular area, and Pop Rocks last for 5 seconds. Upon activating the hypercharge, Chester's Super will change into his Candy Popper Super. Now whenever you're using Chester and you want to defeat the enemies as quickly as possible, you need to be attacking them from a point-blank range. Consider getting close to the enemies when using his 3 to 4 bells attack. If you have difficulty approaching, try using his Candy Beans gadget or his Jawbreaker break your super. When you are fighting against assassins, by having the 3-4-1 sequences, you can deal a massive burst of damage in a very short time, which is enough to kill most assassins with 3 to 4 bells. When you're having a close combat with tanks, the 2-3-4 sequence is recommended to maximize damage dealt to the enemies. Now the farther away you are to your opponents, the bells are going to be more spread out, so to hit more of your bells, you gotta be attacking from a close distance yet again. This is something that's critical when playing Chester because you need to hit as many bells as you can. However, he doesn't have a lot of health, so if he gets too close, he could possibly get bursted down before he can burst down the enemy. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Barry. Now people really underestimate Barry because he is a thrower, but he is extremely good and annoying to deal with. Barry is basically a better version of Barley, so you want to be covering as much ground as possible to stop the enemies from crossing a choke point or getting to whatever the objective is during the match. Remember that Barry is technically considered a support brawler because that's the class he belongs to. So use your attacks to heal up your teammates for the next 6 seconds, or even use it on yourself to keep yourself alive. Now what's pretty broken about Barry is he can charge up his super by either healing himself up or healing his teammates up. Even if Barry isn't hitting any shots onto the enemies, he can still heal his teammates and charge up his super at the same time. If you can somehow position yourself to use your super so you can travel over both of your teammates, this will help them stay alive, but also get you the most amount of value out of your super. Now something that makes Barry even more disgusting is going to be his Flora's Fine star power. Having the increased reload speed by 50% will make it easier for Barry to keep parts of the map locked down with his ice cream and help him get more kills. If you have the ammo to spare, standing on your own ice cream puddles can be a useful strategy to ensure that you are constantly getting all the buffs possible to help you win the game. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Bee. Now a reason why you need to be playing Bee is because she is such a good anti-tank brawler. Even though tanks like Frank and Ash were nerfed, Bee is still going to be great to deal with other tanks that you might see throughout your matches. She can also be a good alternative brawler to play against other long-range sharpshooters as well. As long as you can consistently hit your supercharged shot, you are gonna cook. Now tip when playing Bee, I recommend you use your super first to slow down the enemy and then fire your supercharged shot. Now as soon as you charge up your super, you should wait to use it until you get your supercharged shot. This way you can slow down the enemy and then increase your chances drastically to hit the enemy with the shot that really matters. Getting hit by this shot is a huge backbreaker and will easily force the enemy to retreat if they are still alive. Now granted, you're not going to play Bee perfectly all the time and you're going to miss your supercharged shot, but that's where the insta-below star power comes into play. With this star power, you'll be able to keep your supercharged shot and try again if you miss on the first try. This can really shock the enemies as they will think you wasted your 4K shot, but lo and behold, they are going to be in for a huge surprise. Bee doesn't have a fail-safe escape mechanic that can help her run away from aggro brawlers, so she needs this supercharged shot to protect herself. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is Jae Young. Now first, let's go over a tip for his work mode, which is where he creates a slipstream and gives you and your teammates a speed boost. This main attack is very fun to use because who doesn't want to move faster throughout the match? Every time you fire your main attack, you give yourself the opportunity to increase your movement speed and travel across the map quicker, or help you dodge incoming projectiles. It could cause pressure onto the enemy team and force them to give up control of the map. Now next, let's go over a tip for his party mode, which is where he can heal up his teammates or deal more damage to the enemies. This main attack may not be as fun as the slipstreams in work mode, but this main attack is what makes Jae Young such a great support brawler. He can heal quite a bit per main attack at max level and keep his teammates alive to continue the aggression throughout the match. With his fast reload speed, Jae Young can quickly heal up his teammates in no time. Now people seem to be forgetting this, but Jae Young is a support brawler, so prioritize healing up your teammates above all. An amateur mistake I always see is that people play not only Jae Young like a damage dealer, but any support brawler like a damage dealer. Your job as a support brawler is to support your teammates. Whether the situation calls for a speed boost or an instant heal, you need to prioritize that first and foremost, especially with a brawler like Jae Young. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Lumi. Now one of the best things about Lumi is her main attacks. When throwing the maces, try to keep enemies at the tip of your range to make it easier to hit them with the recalled maces. This is especially important when throwing the second one, as if done right, Lumi can instantly recall the second mace after it hits for an additional burst of damage. Now another thing that's super good about Lumi's main attacks is the fact that they can pierce. When Lumi recalls those maces, they can go through walls and obstacles. This can be crucial when opponents only need one more hit to be defeated but are hiding behind a wall. She can take advantage of this by throwing her maces and moving towards the enemy behind the wall before they return. Now yes, definitely one of the most annoying things about Lumi is gonna be her halftime star power. I mean, come on now, being able to slow down whoever you hit when recalling your mace is incredibly broken. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Anytime you have an ability in the game that can slow, stun, or knock back your target, it's gonna be strong. Halftime is no exception to that rule, so you gotta be buying and using this star power. Alright guys, the next brawler we're gonna be talking about is gonna be Kenji. Now the whole reason why Kenji is the best brawler in the game right now is because of his hypercharge. This hypercharge makes Kenji completely unstoppable. Not a lot of brawlers can survive this hypercharge super, and if they somehow do, Kenji can just slash them down since he basically travels to wherever he used this hypercharge at. The only thing he can do against this hypercharge is just run and pray. Now another thing that makes this hypercharge super broken is how easy it is to cycle up another one. If you can super multiple enemies with your hypercharge, there's a very high chance that you can charge up another super while you are still hypercharged. That way you can jump onto the same enemies if they aren't dead, or jump onto new targets that are around the map. This hypercharge is extremely broken, so don't be surprised if it gets nerfed sometime throughout the month of June. Now regardless of Kenji's hypercharge, his main attacks and super are still going to be pretty solid throughout the game. Kenji's damage from his main attacks and super wasn't changed at all, so that'll still keep Kenji somewhat decent because he can still be a great counter to throwers or glass cannon brawlers in general. As long as you aren't feeding Kenji's hypercharge or he doesn't have a hypercharge, then it should be at least a little bit easier to take him down. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is the newest brawler in the game, Kaze. Now the thing about Kaze that's so broken is her ultra trait. If you guys don't know, Kaze has two aspects, right? Geisha and Ninja. They basically alternate her main attack and super, as well as her gadget, star power, and hypercharge effects. She starts in her Geisha aspect at the start of the battle, and uses her gadgets to swap aspects. Uniquely, if Kaze is powers 1 through 6 or doesn't own a gadget, she will gain a special gadget that has a 6-second cooldown, which will only switch aspects. Unlike her regular gadgets, this gadget does not provide any bonuses upon transition and becomes unusable once Kaze owns any of her regular gadgets. Now yes, every single aspect about Kaze's kit is going to be broken, but the thing that's most broken is going to be her hypercharge. When in Kaze's ninja form, the fact that you can deal damage instantly and dash 30% faster, I mean this hypercharge is completely broken. It's going to be pretty difficult to dodge it against a good Kaze, and the amount of damage she can deal with her hypercharge plus the mark, yeah, you can pretty much kiss your life goodbye. Now don't get me wrong, this hypercharge is definitely going to need a nerf. It is so ridiculously strong, and it's going to make Kaze's ninja form even stronger. With how good her ninja form already is, this hypercharge is just incredibly disgusting and there's not much people can do to counter it. Well anyway guys, if you guys enjoyed that video, I highly recommend you guys go check out this video right here.